Hello, I'm Jim Koshar with Hudson River Computing. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to be productive with AI for payable within Acumatica. So what does this mean? What this means with Acumatica is incoming documents. And with incoming documents, it automatically come in typically from email into Acumatica for processing. It'll save a lot of time and money because it'll allow you to take those PDFs and actually create the bill within Acumatica so you have the transaction there with the attachment ready to go to pay. So with that, how does it work? The first step is the email comes in to your normal email. It goes through, and because of the way we set it up, it comes through into incoming documents. If you have an email that goes to an individual, meaning that sending it to an AP address, they send it to a particular person instead, and they forward it to you, you can easily drag and drop directly from your email to Acumatica to bring it into incoming documents. So I'm going to show you kind of what both methods look like within the system. So it's relatively straightforward and relatively simple. So let's get started. Oops. So this is what Acumatica looks like. If you've been following some of our previous videos, you'll have seen how we work with dashboards as a normal login. What we're going to look at here is very particular and very, down to the point to one area. So we're trying to keep this short and sweet. So if I look at payables, you'll see that we have incoming documents. Incoming documents come in a couple different ways. This one came in automatically through email, and you notice it's just a demo invoice. I'm in a demo system. And you'll see here it says spending recognition. We have a date that it happened and who the owner is. Okay, I'm actually Max in this case. So what happens though is that's how they come in automatically. There are also times when they come in and they come into a particular email. And the way we do that is we can easily drag them into our system. Okay. And oops, I dragged in the wrong place. Hang on. You can easily drag them into the system by dragging into the bar. Okay, you'll see it's added them. And so you can see it's very easily put them into the system, fairly straightforward. All right. Now with that, I'm going to drag one more in. Okay. And I'm going to drag the other one in. Okay. So that's how easy it is to bring them in. Now, what happens when we go to produce them? Okay. How do we want to work with them? We can then recognize all that are here. I can select them all and let them run. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to select them, click recognize. What happens is it goes through and says, okay, there's 5 in here. Here's how we're going to have them come into the system. So what's happening now, AI is going through, identifying the vendor, some of the information from the invoice, such as the date, invoice number, et cetera, as we go through. Once it's done doing the batch, we can actually go in and see what it does. And the next step is kind of something a little bit where you want to review it. So I click close, and you'll see here they've all been recognized now. So if I click on this particular one, take my hands off the mouse, it's going to bring up a working area where I can see what it did. So I can see the invoice itself, and I can see how it identified it. So in this case here, it said, okay, the vendor's Hudson River Computing. Yep, that looks right. It's main location. I'm in the product wholesale, so that's where it's going to bring it into. It's put in the date from the invoice. You notice here that's, if I look over here to the left, when I highlight the field, it automatically shows me in the PDF where it pulled it from. Same thing with Hudson. Oops. Didn't mean to click actually on Hudson. I clicked on drill down by accident for the vendor master. I'm going to actually close that. But what ends up happening if I click here, shows me how it came up with Hudson River Computing. If I go down a little bit further, where to pull the vendor reference, so there's the invoice number. And then down below, you'll see that it brought in the alternative ID, quantity at 2387, 4774. I'm going to scroll down, make sure it looks right. Yeah, we're looking good. So I'm going to save and continue. What that does, that actually creates the bill with an Acumatica from here. And at this point, it'll go on to the next step. You'll be able to process it for payment, post to general ledger, et cetera, as we go through. So you can see here, it's automatically entered into the bill. So that's how straightforward it is. And this is the normal entry window if we didn't do that. You see here, filling everything in. I'm good with it. I'm just going to remove hold. And at this point, I'm going to just save and go back. And when I go back, I can go to the next bill kind of step by step as I go through. So I'm going to just go back one more, and you'll see when I go back to that particular window where we're working with them, you'll see here that it's been recognized, but it disappeared. Notice here, I'm on the drop down, it shows pending recognition or pending processing. You'll see here it's already processed a couple. Okay, so it's relatively straightforward how it works, and I'm going to do pending processing. I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. Click on it, and you're going to see hopefully it comes out to $57, pulls in the same information, lets it roll, and you'll notice here it's been recognized. Yep, it looks okay. Does it have a warning? It's already been started for another document. Okay, so we have a duplicate. All right, so the answer is we don't want this to go through. It's giving me a warning. Yep, this is bad. I'm going to open up the duplicate document to take and see what it is, make sure it's truly duplicate. Maybe there's something a little bit different about it. The answer is nope, it's the same one. Okay, so in this case here, you'll see that we've done it previously, and so we're going to actually not process this one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to back up with this, and we're going to say, oops, we checked our duplicate documents. How do we prevent that? And we're going to actually delete this one. All right, so it's real simple. We don't want to do the dupe. Take my hands off the mouse, close, and it deleted the document. So now we just have 3. And again, if I do the same thing, notice I imported it 3 times. So we're not going to do this one again. We're actually going to delete that one as well. I could delete more than one at a time if I noticed it beforehand. And that's how that works. And now we have just the 2 documents left to finish processing. So I'm going to click on the next one. And you'll see again, it pulls in the information, knows it's sets on river computing, slightly different format. It pulls in the information for the invoice. In this case here, you'll see that it's done a little bit differently, where it's brought in the line items. You can see here, brought in the correct amounts. So it's pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do on this case, I'm actually going to click Save and Continue. And then once I do that, it goes through and processes. So there we are. Okay, and away we go. From here, I'm going to remove hold, click Save and Back. I'm going to back up one more time, and I'm going to do one more invoice just so you get the feel for it. You can see how I can very quickly and easily, even with my little screw ups here, you can very quickly and easily see how quickly you can process the transactions. And, making sure it looks right, 14,035. Yep, looks right. Come down through. Yep, it all matches. I'm going to click Save and Continue. And once I do that, it's created the invoice in there. One thing I didn't point out already is it automatically attaches the document. So I'm going to click Confirm. Okay, and you'll see here that it uploaded the document for the invoice. So we have the PDF attached. So it's kind of just a couple of steps, very quick and easy, and it really does speed up the processing. The ones I've shown you were strictly non-inventory. It works the same way if you're receiving against the PO. It'll match up the PO receipts and do that match for us that we do manually a lot of times and actually create the bill from that. Quick and easy, saves a lot of time and effort, and it gets it done quickly. Again, AI working for you, and you can actually see it and feel it very quickly and easily within Acumatica. I thank you for your time today, and have a great day.